You have to be delusional in some kind of way. You have to have these really big dreams and goals and just keep telling yourself that it is going to happen. I don't want to live an average life. I don't want to live a basic life. I want to be extraordinary. I want my name to be known in this world. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Pamela and you may or may not notice, but we are in a new location. I'm sitting in my brand new apartment that I just moved into last week, which still feels really unreal. But if you guys want to keep up with all of the apartment updates and see a full look of the space, make sure to follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok. I have the same username on basically every platform, and I have a new location. So I'm very excited because we have all of the Christmas vibes here. We have a fun little pillow, my Christmas tree is up, and I'm still figuring out how I want the space to look, how I want the content to be. I'm definitely going to order a new microphone because I don't know if I want to keep holding it like this for every single video. Today we have a very exciting video because I moved into this new apartment. I've been achieving really awesome, amazing things. I was flown out to Los Angeles last month. I was able to shoot a holiday campaign with Kate Spade New York. It has been all over the place. It's been on the website. It's been on Instagram, TikTok. It's been everywhere. All of these amazing things have been happening this year. And while I have been achieving all of these really amazing things at a very young age, I've also had to face certain lessons and I've had to face certain things that have come along the way. And so in today's video, I want to break down 6 tips or lessons that you may have to face if you also want to be successful. If you are someone that has really big dreams or really big goals and you want something out of this life that is more than the average, more than the ordinary, you want to live an extraordinary life, there are things that you are going to have to face along the way. And these are things that I personally have experienced that now I want to pass these tips back down to you guys, because even though you're not always going to be prepared for what life throws at you, that is completely okay, which is why I want to share these tips and these specific pieces of advice that I've encountered, but that I've also heard other successful people say that they've also had to deal with or face. And so without further ado, let's get started. Lesson number 1 is you are going to lose friends along the way and you are going to realize who your real ones are. So friendship is something that is very important to me, but is also something that I've been learning, like as I get older, you really have to be aware. You have to be careful with who you surround your time with, who you surround your energy with, because friendships are either going to make or break you. And depending on who you tell your goals to, depending on who you tell what it is that you want to do to, they are either going to react positively. They're going to say, yeah, you have all of these skills, you have this, that, like you can totally do it. Or there's going to be the people that are going to put their opinions and put their insecurities reflected back onto you. And they're going to make you feel like you can't accomplish whatever it is that you want to do. And those are the people that you genuinely need to stay away from. And as I've gotten older, as I've started to achieve all of these things at a very young age, I'm just realizing like, I don't want to keep having the same conversations we had in high school. I don't want to keep talking about the same drama from 5 years ago that has absolutely no updates. The tea is literally cold. I don't want to keep talking about the same things over and over again. And it's not that you're a bad friend. It's not that you are not there for your friends, but it's like at some point you have to grow up and you have to close the doors and just say, hey, I want something more out of life. I don't want to just keep sitting down and wasting time and having the same conversations over and over again about things that honestly just don't matter anymore. Like once you get to a certain age, you are going to realize this is real life. We are adults, we're growing up, and we need to go out there and make a living. And I am someone that, like I said in the introduction, I don't want to live an average life. I don't want to live a basic life. I want to be extraordinary. I want my name to be known in this world. And there are so many other people out there like me, which is why I try not to get discouraged when I feel a certain way about friendships, because I'm like, I know one day I'm going to meet that really powerful girl group where we are just going to click and we're going to have that same mindset about everything it is in life. And right now I'm very grateful for the select few that I have, but always keep in mind that who you are around, that energy is very, very important. And not everyone is always going to be there to support your goals. Not everyone is always going to be there to want to support you and be that number one fan or be that person that is cheering you on from the corner. So as you learn to prioritize your goals, you're going to see some friendships are going to fade. Some people are going to come in and out. Some people are just going to start to use you, or they're just going to want certain things from you. And so start to cherish the real ones. Start to understand who is there for you, who isn't there for you, and even do little experiments of like, I'm gonna bring this problem to someone and I'm gonna see what they say. Are they gonna dismiss it, or are they actually gonna be there for me like how I am with them? And that is what I've noticed that over the years, as I was helping all of my friends or helping all of these previous friendships with things they were going through, when it was my turn and I was going through something, or I wanted a shoulder to cry on or someone to talk to, it wasn't the same energy reciprocated back. And so don't be afraid to let go of the relationships or the friendships and things that just no longer serve you, because like I said, as you start to be more aligned with your goals and your dreams, and as things actually start to come into fruition, that is when the real ones are really going to stand out. Number 2, which is probably my favorite tip out of all of these, is that you are going to be cringe until you're successful. And this is a quote that I originally heard from Mr. Beast, because over the summer I was really focusing on taking my YouTube seriously. I was able to get monetized in a month. I had already crossed the $1,000 mark in AdSense. Like, I truly was just going all in on YouTube, had grown thousands of subscribers in just a little over a month or two. I noticed that in a lot of the YouTube videos I was doing research on, specifically watching Mr. Beast interviews, he was saying in a lot of them that you are going to be cringe until you're successful, which basically means people are going to make fun of you. People are probably going to send your video around. You are going to look like you're a tryhard until the brand deals start rolling in, until you start looking successful, until people that were the ones making fun of you are now going to be in your DMs asking, how did you do it? Can you teach me? You have my dream life. That is what is going to happen. It's just all going to come like full circle. And so the lesson through this is that you have to embrace that discomfort. You have to embrace that really cringe period, because you are going to be misunderstood. People are going to think that you are trying to be someone that you're not, when in reality, you have that vision in your head and you've had it for so long. It's just that now you're finally taking action, and the people that are not are just going to sit back and see you on their screen, and they're going to be like, yeah, she thinks that she's going to accomplish this. She thinks, or he thinks, that they're going to do all of this. And then one day it's actually going to happen. And I've mentioned this in one of my other videos, which is that people, you know, especially people that are like haters and the ones who are secretly talking about you, they are looking at things like their timeline is in months, is in the next month, is she going to be famous? In the next 3 months, are they going to be well known? In the next 6 months, even in the next year, let's see where they get. And it may not be in the next 3 or 6 months. It may not be in the next year. It may not even be in the next 2 or 3 years. But that is the game that they are playing. Your timeline is that you are playing this game in decades. You are looking at it for the long term. You're not looking at it in the short term. How can I make some quick money? How can I get people to know who I am? How can I blow up overnight? That is just not realistic. You are real because you are playing this for the long game. You're in it for the long game. And so keep focusing on you. Keep focusing on that long journey ahead. You are not focused on that quick, automatic, instant gratification. You are focused on being here for the long term. And so don't worry about people making fun of you. Don't worry about being cringe or people saying this girl thinks that she's going to do something, because you are the one that is taking that first step, that is going out there and doing something with your life, compared to other people that, like I said, are just watching you on their screen. And so keep going, keep doing what it is that you are doing. And you never know one day when it is finally all going to hit. When I started creating content 4 years ago, back when I was a senior in high school, I was scared out of my mind because I was the shy, quiet girl. I was the one that avoided confrontation. I was the one that would let people walk over me and my feelings because I wanted friends. I wanted people to like me. I wanted to be the girl that was not always sitting alone at the lunch table. I wanted to be fun and cool. And so I would let people walk over me. And because of that, I finally got to a point where I was just sick of it. And when the end of high school came and I was like, I never have to see these people again, I can finally create this new identity for myself. I can be this new person. And that was when I decided I'm going to get into content creation. I started a blog because I loved writing and I was always afraid to express that. And I was afraid to post my first TikTok. I was literally stacking shoe boxes against the wall to make a tripod because I couldn't afford to buy a tripod. I was literally just doing whatever I could to get by. I was making something out of nothing. And here we are now, 4 years later. I'm sitting here in the apartment that I am now paying rent for with money that I am making from social media, with money that I am getting from brand deals. I was flown out last month by Kate Spade, New York to Los Angeles to shoot a holiday campaign. I literally am living my dream life. But if I would have cared about what people were thinking, I would not be where I am today. Number 3 is consistency, discipline, and delusion are your non-negotiables. The reason why I say these 3 specific things are your holy grail, are the literal non-negotiables when it comes to achieving success or making your dreams come true, is because I have read so many articles, I've listened to so many interviews, I have so much compiled information from really successful people out there in terms of business and companies that have gone on to talk about what their routines were. They've gone on to say, this is what I did, this was my routine, this is how I essentially made it. And the main things that they all mention in different forms and in their own way is that they were consistent, they were disciplined, and they were delusional. A lot of people that dream really big, you have to be delusional in some kind of way. You have to have these really big dreams and goals and just keep telling yourself that it is going to happen. And the important thing is to let go of the how is this going to happen. And Mr. Beast is another example. He said this before in his interviews that when he was younger, he was always like, I want to be the biggest YouTuber. I want to be the biggest YouTuber in the world, blah, blah. And guess who's basically one of the biggest YouTubers in the world? If not, he probably is the biggest one. He's the most subscribed YouTuber in the world. It is now Mr. Beast. And the thing is that these things don't come overnight. These things don't happen easily. He has been consistent on YouTube for many, many years, which again, that is where the consistency comes into play. Whether you had 5 views or 5,000 or 5 million, he was still staying consistent. And with the discipline part, it's that he was always thinking about YouTube. He was always thinking about what is the next video idea? What can I do today to make content? How can I keep showing up every single day, even when the subscribers and the amount of money I'm making is not adding up? Like, I'm putting all of this work in, but the money that I'm getting back, it's not really adding up. That is okay, because one day it is all going to happen. And so you need to understand, again, like, success does not happen overnight. It is going to require that consistency of showing up daily, even when it's hard, even when nothing is going on, even when people are making fun of you. You have to keep believing in yourself, because you have to be your biggest cheerleader, especially when no one else is going to believe in you, especially when no one else still doesn't believe in you. Like, I was really afraid to show my family, show my friends, show people that I wanted to be a content creator, because I thought that they were going to make fun of me. I thought that they were going to think, go get a real job. And to this day, I still have that insecurity, because it is not praised to be a content creator. It is made to seem like, oh, you just have a super simple, easy job. It is definitely a lot less difficult than other real jobs out there, but it is still a job. You're making money, you're showing up, you're doing brand deals, you're signing contracts. I think that sounds like a job to me, and that is what I keep having to remind myself. But don't let yourself get down when you're not seeing things happening. So start to build those habits, start to build those routines and things that align with your goals, and keep maintaining that belief, keep maintaining that confidence, again, even when you don't see anything. Keep that momentum up, because you never know when something can happen. I wrote down in one of my journals, I think this was back in 2023, I wrote down in my journal that one of my biggest goals was to be in a commercial or be in an ad / be in stores. Like, I just wanted to be in some sort of really big campaign. And back in 2023, I had no idea that that could ever happen. And here we are at the end of 2024. Like I said, I'm now in that holiday campaign. I'm on the Kate Spade New York website. I'm going to be in the stores across the US. And I was able to do it with my sister. Of all people, like, I was able to do a life-changing campaign, go through this life-changing experience, and have this insane moment happen with someone that I love so much. And so that just goes to show, you never know what can happen. You never know if your dreams can come true, but have them. Because if I would have never had that dream or that goal, how would I have known that that was going to happen? So going back into my journal and seeing that I wrote that in my old room, the room that you guys saw that I was filming in previous videos, going back and seeing and remembering, like, in that moment when I wrote that down, just like, I was shaking. Like, I had literal chills in my body as I was opening that notebook and I saw that, because I was like, that was me one day. One day I was sitting at that desk and I was like, I want this to happen. And what did I do? Every day since then, I kept showing up. I kept being disciplined. I kept being myself, and I kept showing up even when nothing was going on. And now here we are. Tip number 4 is that failure is inevitable, but it is necessary. A lot of people are afraid to put themselves out there because they don't want people to see their failure. A lot of people don't want the world to see that they didn't go through with whatever it is that they wanted to do, that their dream or their goal didn't happen. And so a lot of people would either number one, rather just not try anything at all, or number two, try to go through life the safe way. And as someone that has consistently taken the safe way and is now trying to just take different routes, I have seen more success, I have seen more growth, I've seen more opportunities through the road that is less taken by. Again, I've experienced so many of these lessons and things that I'm telling you guys, which is why I'm like, you need to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. You have to take risks. You need to know that success and failure, they go hand in hand. And the good thing is that not a lot of people are going to even notice if you fail. Not a lot of people are even going to see if something doesn't work out or not, because 9 times out of 10, you are just going to be showing the good things online. You're just going to be showing the success, all of the really cool, amazing things happening. People don't really show the failures. A lot of the things that we see out there in this world, all of the success that we see, that is the end result of years and years of hard work. There is this quote that I love, which is that every overnight success was actually 10 years in the making, which is true. So many of these successful businesses, successful companies, people that have these extravagant lives, they have all been doing this in secret, building it for years, or people just didn't know about it for many, many years until now finally the world knows their name. That is something that you have to understand. Like, you are not going to just one day blow up, because how are you going to have learned certain lessons? You are not just the next year or 2 years after that finally get the thing it is that you want. It may take 5, it may take 10 years, but think of all the things that you have learned in the meantime throughout that time period. Once you finally get to that end goal of whatever it is that you want, it's going to feel even more amazing, because you're like, wow, all of these things I experienced, wow, I cannot believe that I went through all of that, and now like I finally got this thing it is that I want. I'm so grateful. You are going to fail. You're going to fail. You're going to do this multiple times, and you're going to continue to do this until you eventually succeed. You're going to keep falling, and you're going to keep getting back up, because you never know when that gold is going to be right there at the very end. You never know when you're going to hit that strike and everything you want is just going to happen. Everything is going to flourish, and you learn so much more from failure than success. And I have a video all about failure and how it's actually something that is so amazing, because it's almost like it's not real. Like, did you actually fail, or did you just learn something so amazing that you now can take and apply back into your life? Like, there were so many things that I did in the social media world before I started off the things it is that I have now, and if I would have never done half of those things, I genuinely would not be who I am today. I started out as one thing, I learned from that, and I was like, how can I build off of this? And I'm still in the social media world, just in a different kind of way. Same thing with my blog. I started a blog when I was in high school because I loved writing, and I wanted to put my writing on a virtual platform for millions of people to see it around the world, not just my school. And from my blog, I learned to not only become a better writer, but I got connected with other really cool people in the industry that I was able to interview, and now I use my blog as a way to make an extra stream of income through sponsored blog posts, or I can interview really cool people. It's literally just all lessons that you learn, and you just take it along the way. You take those different things that you learn, you keep applying it, and you keep growing, and you keep becoming a better person. So take things that went wrong, and by went wrong I mean take the things that didn't really go your way and take those lessons and think, okay, what did I learn from this? How can I apply this into my future self? How can I now instill this in a future situation? Tip number 5, which is another one of my secret favorite tips from this video, is that no one is coming to save you, so stop making excuses. This. When I finally stopped making the plans, when I finally stopped overthinking and doing just an insane amount of analysis paralysis, I finally started seeing results because I was finally taking action. So many people will make this really big plan of everything it is that they're going to do, everything it is that they want to do, how they're going to do it, and then when it comes to actually doing it, they don't do anything. For example, content creation. I have had so many people DM me, text me, ask me, hey, like, I want to do this, I'm actually going to take it seriously, blah, blah, blah. They get all of this advice from me, whether it is me explaining content, how to come up with ideas. I have had all of these people ask me the same questions over and over again, like, I'm actually going to do it, I'm actually going to take it seriously. And then it's like the next day, there's no video. that night there's no video. The next week, the next month, there's no video. There's nothing from whatever it is that we were talking about, and that conversation keeps happening over and over again. And it's like, you need to actually sit down, stop making excuses, and just do whatever it is that you say you're gonna do, because no one is gonna come to save you. No one is going to sit down and make the money for you, or do the brand deals, or do whatever it is that you want to do. No one is going to make that business successful. No one's going to put it in Forbes. Are you the one that is just going to sit back and kick back and then just keep waiting until that Forbes 30 under 30 email comes in when you haven't done anything? You need to actually have this moment where you're like, I need to take action. So many people never take action. They just keep sitting, they keep waiting. And the truth is, it can be scary to take action. I completely get it. It can be scary because you don't know if what you do is going to work out or not. There's two ways that this can go. Either you start doing whatever it is that you want to do, you wait a year, you wait 2 years, you wait 3 years, however long the timeline is, you keep waiting, and then you keep seeing when is something going to click. But the other thing is that if you don't actually do anything, you're going to always have that what if feeling. You're always going to be like, well, I never tried, so I didn't even know if I was going to be able to make it and do this. I never actually sat down and filmed that video, or picked up the tripod, or made the business plan, because I just never did. All these excuses came up, and then you start going through the spiral of, why didn't I just do this a year ago? Why didn't I just start 2 years ago? Why didn't I just start when I finally said that I was going to? Take ownership of your journey. Be proactive, be resourceful, be resilient, take action. Like I said, remember that no one is going to come save you. No one is going to sit there and write the thing for you. No one is going to sit there and pick up the camera for you, or film it and edit it for you. You have to show up every day. That is the hardest part. That is why so many people fail before they even begin, because they never begin. The last and final lesson for today's video is that you are going to have to sacrifice comfort for greatness. I have learned this many times over my years of being a content creator, being a college student, starting businesses, doing all these different things. I've had to learn that comfort is going to be sacrificed. That comfort zone, that little bubble that you're in, eventually it's going to burst. Eventually you are going to have to step foot outside of that and see the real world, and see that, do you want greatness? Do you want something amazing for your life? Do you want things to happen? Or are you going to constantly stay in that bubble? Are you going to keep being a consumer and keep seeing what other people are doing? Or are you finally going to be a creator? Are you finally going to go out there and make something with yourself, do something with your name, and actually be somebody? Because the more that you just sit back, the more you give up on yourself, the more that you just keep letting that potential go, you're never going to see where you could actually be. You're never going to see where you can actually go. And so stop thinking that you need this instant gratification, that you want to see all the short-term pleasures, you want that money overnight. Stop thinking that you need all of these things to happen in order to finally just start putting the work in, because a lot of people, like I said, they want that 4 figures from one brand deal after the first month of posting TikToks. They want to see their business blow up after posting 2 or 3 videos. They want to see all of these things happen without actually putting in the work. And so get comfortable with the late nights, get comfortable with the doing research, cold calling, cold emailing, cold messaging people on LinkedIn, on Instagram, saying, hey, do you have 5 minutes for a coffee chat? Hey, can we talk about this? XYZ, whatever it is. Start getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. You have to grind it out. You have to lock in. You have to embrace all of these uncomfortable, lonely moments. There is going to be that lonely chapter, but you have to trust that the sacrifices that come with that are going to be worth it. And again, like I said, you never know if it's actually going to work out or not, but you never know unless you don't try. That is all for today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting. I'm definitely going to be doing some little apartment content, but if you guys want to see more specific kind of advice or lesson style videos, let me know in the comments, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.